Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Flotsam and Jetsam Season 1 Episode 6. I am your host, not the DM, that is Adams. Gerb with this campaign. How is everyone doing on this fine Saturday? Saturday today. Yeah.
Doing all right. I've got I'm reffing a strongman contest tomorrow because I'm LeBroken, so I'm not competing. So that'll be fun. I'll watch people pick up heavy things and put them down again.
Cool.
I recently, last week, I'm like, Physical 100 is awesome. You should watch that. This week, Physical 100 is still awesome. It's not done. It's not all out yet, but the three body problem is the thing that is decently well done on Netflix. Is it amazing? It's not amazing. It's decently well done. It's kind of, I'd rank it similar to The Expanse, where it's like, it's good. It's got some stuff I don't like, but it's good and entertaining and driving a plot, and I watched it and wanted to keep watching
The
it.
Expanse is amazing.
It's good.
no, it is excellent.
So,
5 out of 5 for The Expanse. I sense 4 out of 5 for
The Expanse is a 4 out of 5, and there's certain sections where it's like a 3.5, but it's mostly 4 out of 5. On the whole, it's 4 out of 5. Three body problem. So, like, things, example, it's like around episode 4, I was like, Jessica, we need to stop. It's like, why? Because this was a stupid waste of my time for this episode, and I'm going to go and play a game, because I'm going to have less enjoyment if I binge through this point, because this entire, like, 45 minutes in a row was stupid political relationship shit, right? Like, it's...
I started watching For All Mankind, space show. The space stuff is awesome. The drama, not so much. So the way I solve this is I play Civ at the same time as I'm watching it, and I can kind of just tune out any of the garbage, any of the, like... the only reason why we're having a problem right now is because people are dramatic. It's like...
This is some of the problems of the show. So if you read the books,
it'd be like you. I don't have an adventure planned. Just create drama between the adventuring group, and that's the adventure tonight.
They're gonna fight with each other.
Yeah, it's
that's the plan.
Okay. It's fun for 15 minutes, and then not fun forever.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. There's some like. Go to the doctor. It's not spoiling anything, but there's just this whole like, why don't you go to a doctor?
Why the hell would you allow this person to be on a crucial role in space?
Why exactly?
Why?
There's one of this like, why would you do this? This is stupid. But you get past those, and then there's a couple other like, they did this because it makes a super cool special effects shot, and then you can tell they ran out of special effects money. So it's like the shot's really cool. You get to like the payoff shot, and I'm like,
it's like drama's the cheap way to create a story, and like having an interesting problem where humankind has to overcome, they're hard to set up, right? Like it's harder to write that.
The whole story is about an interesting problem that the humankind has to overcome. Yep. That's the whole point of the goddamn thing. And it's like, just although they're introducing characters early, so if you read the books, it's going to be confusing. In part because they were Chinese books by a Chinese guy. It doesn't take place. It only takes place partly in China. You know what I mean? So they've added a bunch of characters, but they pulled characters ahead. This is where one of my issues with The Expanse is they pulled ahead. I can't remember her name. The female politician, and made her arc dumb. Her character arc is silly because she's amazing, and then does her hero's journey later. So there's this whole like, why did she fall from grace? How did she suddenly become a bumblehead? And then it comes, because she didn't know what she was doing yet. But then how come for 3 seasons she was doing good things or smart things? And that was because the writers went, well, she's amazing, because they read all the books and they wrote her like at the end of the story, not like at the beginning of the story. Her character I find very jarring when she suddenly becomes incompetent.
Right. They didn't give her the right arc. Like
her story arc is best. She's one of the coolest characters up until the point where, you've ruined the character for me, because now she's on the start of her hero's journey and she's making stupid easy mistakes that she previously had solved already. So it's like just some writing issues. This has some of that. We'll see how it goes. There'll be more seasons. it has my interest.
Cool. Why don't we do a recap of? Are we resuming with Ganzorig or Black Dog? Because we're kind of jumping around with the black stories.
We are going to be continuing with Black Dog.
Okay. So where did we do Black Dogs?
It was the last session we did Black Dog and Lahida.
Last one was Lahida and Songrel.
Yes.
So the game before that was Blood of Giants. While half broken, laying aboard the Wormwood, a Black Dog drifts into memories of his recent past. His half-giant orphan siblings, life at the Shattered Refuge, the events surrounding the disappearance of his brother. Great tragedy strikes the monastery, and from the ashes, Black Dog forges a massive blade. While tending to Black Dog's wounds, Lahida quietly reminisces about his happy upbringing at the monastery of the Celestial Comet, and the events that brought him to the Wormwood. While transporting beer and gin to a distant market, he and his friend Songrel were waylaid by bandits, and then we did the Lahida version. Black Dog left off, leaving the Shattered Monastery with... After taking 20 on making a massive blade. Basically, you spent, I don't know, a month trying to make this big sword before it finally worked. Anointed in the blood of the fallen of his monastery with as much metal that he was able to gather from the monastery itself, and then set out to the Warring Iron Kingdoms.
The Warring Iron Kingdoms, yeah.
To seek out the White Wolf.
A bunch of refugees were traveling to the Jade Kingdoms to try to escape the war, and Black Dog was like, nope, I am walking towards the war because that's where the guy I want to kill is. I'm walking towards the thing I want to kill. Correct.
Yep. So we're resuming Black Dog. Cool.
We're resuming the Black Dog.
What map should I be on?
All right, here I will. Firstly, I'm having a stupid. Force players to current map. Tool send to players on current view. Okay. There's a jostling and an interruption of Lahida's story. Several days have passed since the attack. Some of these pirates have been healed and encouraged to work well with others. You know that, in fact, Mr. Potts, you're my problem now. If you give me any issues, you're going overboard with a mighty fine necklace around your neck. And there's a disengagement between the boats, a slow transfer between the Wormwood and the Promise. Jin Shi has come to an agreement with Harrigan, and basically Harrigan has told Jin Shi that he should be following the orders of Mr. Potts and tending to the wounded. Those are his top concerns. What you're looking at here, I'm just going to grab the stack, is the crew. Oh, here, I'll stick Kahren. He's currently in the box, but we'll grab his token. Is the crew of the Promise. So I will map tool. Hey, Marty. This ends up being the crew of your boat. It is a larger boat. It is less magical and of a less sturdy construction, but does carry a lot more cargo. The reminiscing of Black Dog resumes as he is still waylaid, in part by the surgery attempt that was done on him.
I don't remember it being a very good roll.
Where they were trying to reset his leg, which was healing incorrectly, trying to prevent him from having a nasty and permanent limp. The crew does take to their new roles. There is enforcement that is somewhat very threatening, but less cruel than before, as the crew does begin sailing this ship. A few days has passed as part of new crews as the boats made their separate ways. Ganzorig. Is Ganzorig being a member, like effectively trying to be a member of the crew, or is he being stubborn and drunk?
He wants first and foremost out of chains, so he'll reluctantly agree.
Okay. There's a reluctant agreement.
What are they asking him to do, like, specifically?
So they're asking him to there's turns rolling and rowing and then sailing, and it's mostly like pulling on ropes and cleaning things.
Oh, I'm an Akunian archer. I'm not some maid. Let me go give me my bow back and we'll see.
You get the swabbing done, you learn how to pull the right rope when they tell you to, you'll get your bow back.
Okay.
Come on.
I need to see the sky. He lifts up those chains, like, get me out of these things. You gotta let him out here too. He kicks the...
Fuck you!
He's a great warrior.
You kind of want to see the sky, though. He's a big fella.
You must certainly be blessed to count an Akunian and a crazy man amongst your... a crazy man who fell from the stars, blessed by Cord.
I am the Cordian Skyman! How good are your eyes?
What do you say?
How good are your eyes?
Well, I can see things. I can see far.
You squint a lot.
Plus 11 perception.
It's pretty good for...
He gets half his Oracle level... No, sorry, half of his Inquisitor level on perception checks. So Ganzorig's perception's gonna... hockey stick.
Okay. Ganzorig, you basically are released and allowed to join the crew. You give me a profession sailor. Nope. Or a role with which you feel applies to helping clean the boat and pull on sails.
Acrobatics and perception. He climbs the rigging. He's also got climb. He climbs the rigging and he wants to be closest to the sky. Like, as soon as he is able to, he's like fucking up in the crow's nest.
All right, give us a roll.
Okay, a climb.
A climb, please.
Okay. Hopefully there's ropes. 18.
18. Okay. Give me an acrobatics just for
16.
Okay, and then give me a perception.
16.
Okay. While it's not given to you as a primary task, basically getting yourself up into the crow's nest.
He's not afraid of heights. Like Marty doesn't like heights. He doesn't like being on top of a ladder. You know, like, the bottom of my heels start to tingle. Like I don't like them. He's not afraid of heights because he worships a Katie and can feather fall, like as we saw him in his backstory, jump off a cliff, and you know. So he wants to be close to a Katie, and that's where he goes to pray.
So Ganzorig, while it's not your official duty, you end up spending a lot of time in the crow's nest. It did wait a couple of days. You have a sense that even from the highest, like from the crow's nest, like on the clearest day, you don't see land in any direction. They might have sailed out a couple of days to sea before, like, unchaining the more potent, the potent potables.
I guess this is the place where you get to be with the Lord of Water, all by yourself, eh, Katie? Ganzorig's got naughty thoughts about his goddess of air cavorting with the Lord of Water. And it's okay. Like, that's...
Yep.
Yeah, I guess Grumbar doesn't get in the way. Only Kozuth's just watching you, pointing up at the sun.
Mulgrimir is made the first mate of the boat. There was an agreement that was made between Mulgrimir and Harrigan. We'll do that discussion when Mark is here.
Yep.
As part of this, the remainders of the tattooed pirates are effectively working on the crew, and Mulgrimir is basically leading them.
Nice.
So he does have a position, and he was basically, it was the, you know how to sail? Yep. You know how to lead? Yep. These people listen to you? Yep. Potts can kick his ass? Yep. All right, we're good.
Ganzorig at first doesn't necessarily like Mulgrimir because it's more of a, he doesn't like orcs.
Mm-hmm.
So there may need to, Mulgrimir may have to prove, like, right now he just avoids Mulgrimir. He might have a grumpy face when looking at Mulgrimir.
Okay.
Mulgrimir will have to earn Ganzorig's trust because of prejudice, basically.
Yeah, we will roll that out when we've got the other people at the table. Sunwoo. Grimsby basically is following what Mulgrimir says. Grimsby is the drummer. Mm-hmm. He keeps time in terms of the way with which the sailing occurs. Additionally, does some minor healing, and for some of the messier jobs, he basically summons this dwarvish skeletal zombie thing that goes and does some of the muckier stuff. He's a grim fellow. Ganzorig, give me a heal check.
I don't know if Ganzorig has that skill.
Or survival check?
Survival, yes. To track or not to track?
Not to track.
21.
The dwarf is like, you'd call it has consumption. It has a disease. You don't believe it's contagious off the face of it, but has spent way too much time in graveyards and things. You also notice that when he doesn't, he's very, very thin for a dwarf. And
hidden under his massive beard.
hidden under his massive beard, yeah. There, you can see ribs.
Oh, you need to eat more.
And he does eat.
Oh, like a bottomless pit.
It doesn't fill the hollow.
Okay, Ganzorig being somewhat superstitious, maybe, or at least from a superstitious culture, doesn't trust the dwarf. He keeps an eye on him.
Yeah, the dwarf does show signs of.
He's got plus. I do have a rank in knowledge religion, and my monster lore because of Inquisitor is pretty high. So is he undead? It's really they came from the fucking awful ship. There's probably stories. 26.
You don't think that he is a Dampier, but he's close to one. You think that his background, or there's some weird mix. He's definitely a dwarf. If you're trying to kill him, you can kill him with dwarf stuff. But you do know that he is his past, present, and likely future is highly intertwined with death. And you do see he does worship an evil god of death called Nerul. This is a thing that he does wear iconography of.
Okay, that probably doesn't do anything to alleviate Ganzorig's concerns.
No.
He notices that if Grimsby is deferring to the orc, then he's convinced that Grimsby's not a proper dwarf. Something bad happened there. He just keeps an eye on Grimsby to make sure that he's not try to eat people.
What languages does Ganzorig speak?
Ganzorig speaks Acunian, Lingua Flotsam, and Orcish.
Okay, I'm making a quick tweak to Grimsby to reflect his background. He is replacing. He's going to replace Jade Tongue with Orcish to reflect where he was.
Time in the Orc camp, yeah.
Yep. The dwarf's Orcish in a few points where he was speaking to Mulgrimir from your crow's nest. You can basically hear them talking below.
Yep.
His Orcish is really good, and you do notice Mulgrimir seems to give me a sense motive. You could apply favorite enemy if you have it to either of these races.
Favorite enemy. No, I gave up my first favorite enemy for archetype.
Cool.
So, sense motive. 16.
They have a close relationship.
Okay.
You suspect they've.
And it's not a master servant relationship.
It's not a master servant relationship.
Okay.
Mulgrimir seems to almost defer to Grimsby on certain topics.
Ganzorig doesn't tell them. He doesn't indicate that he can understand Orcish.
Okay. Give me a charisma check. You can add 4, and you could. It's a bluff check if you have bluff. I just doubt you have bluff.
Nat 1.
Okay. They might know you. They might know you know, but you're not saying it, and there might be Warriors Code sort of.
Might be obvious that he's standing up in the grove watching you guys.
Being a creeper McCreeperson. All right. Kahren.
Ganzorig whines daily that he doesn't have his bow back. Like he complains that he doesn't have his bow. Or he hints that he doesn't have his bow. Give me
a diplomacy check, intimidate check, or bluff check around your bow.
No, charisma 8. He I imagine he's going to be. It's just annoying. Oh, 1.
There's one day where you're given an arrow. Ooh. You have 1 arrow.
This is.
Okay. It is one of your arrows. It's at least proof of your stuff.
Ooh. Play that way.
Shut up about it.
Play that way. It's like this low grumbling. Yeah, okay. He's gonna stop asking, but at this point in time, his time turns into sneaking and searching.
All right.
This is a job for him and Kahren. Free our weapons.
All right, Kahren, who he's pretty good at fighting, kind of whatever with kind of whatever. Let's see if Kahren is able to convince others that he's better outside the box. You Twitch being you gonna send me a text, you Twitch, you give me a second. That's what I get for not rolling my warm-up die. 13. Kahren is able to convince Fish Guts that he is useful. He, with a 27 craft or profession brewer check, he is able to help with the production of food, most specifically the handling of the rum and spirits that are mixed with water to produce basically the fluid with which the swish that keeps the boat running, the grog. Hida, give us either a craft alchemy or profession brewer, or if you're trying to also, if you're looking for similar duty,
Oh yeah, being anywhere near alcohol would be amazing. Let's do the craft alchemy.
Yeah, I can make potions.
12.
Okay, this strange man that they had locked in a box got the job you wanted.
Oh,
And he's the assistant of Fish Guts. He talks about freedom and how, like, contests of strength, that he likes challenging people to arm wrestling, and he's kind of, he reminds you very much of like the people back in Pijo, right? Like he's just like, he would be like a rival brewer, but he basically he was able to talk his way out. Maybe he was on the boat longer, but was able to ingrate himself into a job that he liked. And
Okay, when he's not helping Jinshu play nurse to Black Dog, he's gonna help Karen.
Okay, give us a diplomacy, or I guess it would be a diplomacy check to make a friend as your
-1.
no uggos allowed.
14.
That's all right. Yeah, no. So basically, as a you're totally allowed. Like nobody shoos you away in terms of you're allowed to, as extra duty, help help with some of the rationing and preparation of grog.
Lehida's from a monastery. I'm sure they did all sorts of manual tasks before they got to do anything fun. So he is concerned about a fellow half giant. I don't know how they met, but he knows that Black Dog is kin.
Yep.
And he does have some healing ability, so he's been helping Jin, the Snake Man.
Sunwoo. What skills does Sunwoo have that would be helpful for a boat?
Ooh. Notice that you don't have wizard?
I hear that you trained under some of the finest, and you're either part of the crew or your merchandise. So, what's it gonna be?
I can make potions. Oh. Potion? I can also make fire. Big boom.
Well, so we're gonna have to come to an understanding about the big booms and where they go. This boat is not as enchanted as the Wormwood. He's using a word that it doesn't sound like he uses frequently.
Yep. Don't burn the boat.
That'd be a good start. Don't burn the boat.
He looks hopefully up at Mr. Potts.
All right.
I can do this. And he's been holding on to like a rotten piece of fruit for a while. He puts it down on the barrel and then asks for his chains to be removed.
One half of the chains get removed. You still think that you're under the enchantment is still there, where they could command you to do stuff.
Okay. He's gonna purify. He's gonna purify food and drink on the rotten piece of fruit.
A couple other people are like biting their tongue. They're like, "Oh," he's like, "I can do that." Like, do you know how to read charts? Should be learned.
Knowledge Arcana is chart reading, I think.
Knowledge Arcana, Knowledge Geography.
He's got Arcana.
Arcana. Give us a Knowledge Arcana roll.
Sure. 25. He points out some of the constellations.
All right, you're the official purifier, and you'll help with some of the navigation if we get, we fall off the current.
And potions.
The current. We'll give it some time before we start dealing with potions where things that go boom. When we're all a nice, happy family. He leans in with like It gives you like a kind of a rough pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, someone's flinching at this. They've been pretty rough so far. He takes it though. Okay.
His breath smells bad.
What about Katano?
So, we've been warned about his honeyed tongue.
But better that he be on our side than dangerous cargo. He can cast spells. He can cast tricky spells. He's a mascot.
I was.
It's kind of just puts the cage with the.
Give us a charisma check. You can add +2 from Gaetano trying to look charismatic in the cage.
Yeah, all plumey and high charisma. At least Sunwoo doesn't have a negative in his charisma.
Marty's been optimizing. Everybody has a charisma charisma penalty.
11. That's including the +2.
We've got a all right. Picks up Gaetano's cage. We're gonna have a conversation. Sure, you could help me. You see Mr. Potts pulling out of a very fine-looking sack that he had inside of another bag. From there, he's pulling out what looks like a leather strap with a steel ring on the inside of it. About yay big, maybe a little bit bigger. And basically, Mr. Potts and Gaetano end up having a conversation, one that we'll have later, and see if Gaetano's able to.
Jin will bring the creature. Basically, carry the creature.
See if he gets the magic gag.
Oh no! But they let Sunwoo loose.
They let Sunwoo loose. He has no. They haven't given him things to make potions or cast spells yet. They want him to read charts and purify food and drink.
Okay, he's a spellcaster, which is kind of like sorcerer, so he can cast his spells.
Oh, they didn't give you. You don't have a spell component pouch.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
So if you have 2 materials, then
no, he still needs his pouch. So he goes about looking for it or starting to gather things to reconstruct one if he can't find it.
Okay.
But yeah, he spends time looking around for it.
And you end up partnered with Shortstone, who's relatively annoying and gives me a sense motive from Sunwoo.
Oh, Sunwoo's easy to fool. Wisdom optimized. 12.
He is happy to have you there and isn't at all threatened by your capabilities and worried about his own position on the boat.
Okay.
He's happy to have you as an assistant.
Oh. Assistant?
Yeah. Well, I've got 1 eye, you got 2. Okay. Match made in heaven.
You cast spells?
Of course I cast spells.
What is the most powerful spell you can cast?
One does not just say what the most powerful spell they can cast is.
Oh. Mine are my bombs. Yeah, I think my bombs are most powerful. Not quite spells, but, you know.
Bombs are a crutch, and they're really short range. Not very good for boats. No, bombs are, no bombs. All right, okay, now, most important thing, how you fold the charts. He's talking about rolling maps versus folding maps and
Yeah,
not creating creases.
that's fine. Sunwoo accepts the boring tasks for now.
Give me a knowledge arcana check.
Another one? Okay.
Yep.
He's probably easily distracted. That one. 10.
Hey, yeah, you're easily distracted. Little does Sunwoo know, this puts Short Stone at ease in terms of you're not very good at this. So he basically has you as like sorting and organizing the maps, pull the correct map at the right time. That's what it is. There's arrows. There's some arrows for wind, and there's some arrows for water, and who cares? And where the stars are.
At this point in time, Sunwoo's trying to like take in his surroundings and is more interested in reconstructing his spell component pouch than really paying attention to Short Stuff's instructions. Like, oh, you want me to do this really basic task? You're assigning the inch 20 guy the basic task. He's getting about as much attention to get the task done.
All right. And that leaves Black Dog being carried on and slowly drifting in and out of consciousness time and time again. Black Dog, it took you, was it a month? 6 weeks? 8 weeks.
It was a significant amount of time.
8 weeks? It might have been a whole season to craft your temple sword. Where is it? It's like you should be like you do this instinctive kind of grabbing for the blade. You've been treating it as if it were your lover for months at this point, if not over a year. Just it's beside you. You sleep, it's right there, and it's not. Hasn't been for some time. Your leg aches. It has ached for some time, but it's like a fresh ache. It is all of that healing back to day one. As you had like this nightmare of being held down and broken, like this really small, you were really, really small, and this massive giant was tugging on your limbs like you were a bug, and one of them like snapped off.
My sword.
That we call the slab. There's an orc who's talking to you. You don't really know him from a hole in the ground.
Is he awake, or are we drifting in and out?
You're drifting in and out.
Yeah, well, that's really all he mutters is his sword.
Okay. All right.
And he would be muttering, what is his... His mother tongue would be giant. So he's saying, my sword in giant.
Do you speak Orcish?
He does not.
There's a statement back that you don't understand.
He speaks Iron Tongue, Giant, and Lingua Flotsam. But Giant would be his childhood language. And in his dreary state, drifting in and out of consciousness, I imagine, his brain defaults to his giantish tongue.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to... Where's my tool? There's my tool.
I don't imagine he's a good patient with improved unarmed combat and his sword being missing. Like,
Jin sure is a very effective doctor.
Right.
He holds you down with his tail.
Where's my sword? You know, like that sort of thing, and striking at people.
There's a bunch of outbursts and threats, but yeah, Black Dog is definitely still in chains on the boat.
He is the least happy of the characters that you've let me create.
Yes. All right. I'm going to... Black Dog has remembrances. I'm going to force players to current map. Tool center players in current view.
Everything's caching. Give me a second.
Oh.
It's loading. It's loading.
You can do it.
4 out of 16. You can do it.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Oh, we're at 8, 9. There we go. It's going. There we go. All right. There's a big trail with a dude on it.
You don't,
Gross, dude.
exactly. There's a bit of a,
Sorry, my eyes went immediately to dude.
the human-shaped objects.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cave there. All right. Black Dog. I'm just going to unfog a space for you. You are dropped off from the villagers, the refugees from the now properly shattered refuge. That was a place that was shrouded in magical weather that prevented incursions from the outside and provided safety from the warring kingdoms of iron. You demanded upon them that you wanted to head towards the threats and not away. You are a warrior and you are vengeful. This is what you wanted. A full season has passed and you crafting your sword and several days at sea when you're dropped off at a mountain range. A place that is the most easily passed to basically come across from the northern tip of the Iron Kingdoms into sort of the proper mainland of the space. An extensive mountain range known as the Kinchin no Tsuro, or the Forbidden Pass. It is late fall when you are making your trek. How do you proceed?
Like a wandering rodent.
Okay,
He's trying to find people. Preferably military people, but people. Because he's really got only one question on his mind at this point in time. Snakes.
The snake.
The
wolf.
wolf, yeah, exactly. No, he's probably still full of rage at this point in time, so he's going to wander to see if he can find out information. He's not going to ask every single person, but he's definitely not shying away from any fights.
All right. Do you have any skills in...
He also needs to learn how to, wield the monstrosity that he has constructed.
Do you have any skills in survival or tracking or...
He does. Half giants are really good at survival. So
Perfect.
15.
15? Okay. On this journey through the mountains, which does take several weeks on foot, you are able to barely scrounge by. There's a lot of cold nights. There's times where you're not able to make a fire. In your soul that maybe does Black Dog have a view on fate? How does he view fates? Because he knows that if he got hit by a storm, he would not be able to manage, but he proceeds anyway. Does he do this because the storm won't happen? Does he do this because he's not afraid of the storm? Like what's his worldview?
I think he knows that he's pretty hardy, at least compared to regular men. So if a storm happens, it is sent by the gods. He worships his ancestors and Anam, the All-Father, which is like a very basic understanding of what he was taught when he was really little, before he was taken away by the humans. So now it's probably the gods. It'll be like treated like tests. If he has to take damage from being malnourished for a short period of time, then that's so be it kind of thing. It's an obstacle to overcome.
Okay. Give me a percentile.
He wouldn't see this. He'd see the storm as the gods testing him, not as oh, woe is me.
It's not, oh, woe is me, this is my fate, and it's not like the gods are trying to sabotage my journey. It's...
Well, it could be that. They're throwing obstacles in your way because that's what gods do. But he wouldn't give in to it. It would be something for him to overcome.
Okay. Give me a percentile roll.
41.
Okay. Yes, we are. Yes, we are playing sort of a weird hodgepodge of first ed. Black Dog. As you proceed through the mountains, you do meet a sparse few travelers. Um, Most of them squeeze by you upon this treacherous trail.
Hey, Christy. Thanks for
Christy
the...
underscore Milaku just cheered 500 bits. Random bitty love to people playing Pathfinder 1E.
Nice. Thanks for the follow, Christy. Yeah, we love Pathfinder 1. We have a whole... we had a whole campaign where we went through the Pathfinder 2 playtest as well as the Pathfinder 2 in a whole campaign. At the end of it, my players off screen went, "That was fun. Can we go back to Pathfinder 1?" And I said, yes. But then we adopted the 3 action system. Economy. And then we've, for this campaign, we're trying out reintroducing things like swift actions and things at the 3 action economy, the unchained action economy. Here, I'll find a link. All of our campaigns, or a lot of them that are interrelated, have also adopted Mythic, and we also play with Gestalt characters because we're insane.
Superhero.
Yeah, we like our powerful characters, and the power spiking in our Grimstone campaign, for instance, they're 16th level and Mythic rank 3-ish across the board, and we're seeing some craziness going on.
It's really funny. They're like, this could count as hard. It's like, yeah, you walked into a room full of CR20s. Yeah, it's hard.
Yep. Yeah, my players also like the crunchiness. We kind of are sharing the DM seat. Adam's got this campaign as well as a couple of the chapters in Grimstone. So over the last couple of years, I've convinced some of my players to share the DM responsibility, and it's been good. Giving Marty a break. It's also been nice. Hey, I get to be a player. Hey, I get to be a really bad player. All the problems.
There've been a couple of like, dude, you're not the DM. Stop making the stink face. All right, give me a survival roll as a late fall storm rolls through.
Okay. 16.
16. All right. It is cold. There's a blast of water that ends up in a night where it's barely above freezing. Your attempts to create a fire along this patch, I'm just going to move you to this point, have not succeeded very well. It is cold. It is absolutely disgusting. You haven't eaten in 2 days, and this storm might last several days. It is absolutely miserable, chilled to the bone.
Okay, well, that first evening he spends basically clutched up into a small. Is this a cave or like a small?
Yeah, there's like a space where some rocks fell, and you can get a little bit of protection from the winds and the rain.
Holding onto the stone carved holy symbol of Anam, listening to the thunder as well as the drumming that happens whenever that periodically happens in his dreams or when he thinks of Anam.
Mm-hmm.
That first night he'll just endure, I guess.
Okay, give me a fortitude save.
He does not have the endurance feat. Let me just... I think I removed that power on half giant. A fort save? Okay.
Yep.
We're decent at this. At 3rd level at least. 27.
27. Okay. Yeah, you're able to basically bulldoze your way through the problem. You are able to tough it out that night. You're not fatigued the next day, like mechanically. Obviously, you are tired physically, but you're mentally strong. Great fortitude. Huddled up in your warming ball.
How does the next morning? What's the weather the next morning?
The next morning is still not great.
Okay, well he'll set out during the day, probably early. Our
Okay.
goal is to find either better shelter or people.
Okay, give us another survival check.
There's a trail that I'm following.
There is a very narrow trail that goes along the side of this mountain. There's been signs that there are landslides here periodically, but it seems like this barely man-sized width trail at parts is the easiest way through the mountains. The mountains are like butted up against one another with a river at the base, with like cliff edges along either side. It's very treacherous.
Okay, another
Very inhospitable.
16.
16. You find yourself once again huddled up in a nook. This time you are able to get your fire sputtering, get a little bit of protection. It's still miserable, and it is another terrible night. It is unlikely you're going to get good sleep.
Okay, well, he'll do the best he can.
Okay, give me another fortitude save as you try to tough out.
Looking at survival, if I make a DC 15, you gain a +2 on all fortitude saves against severe weather while moving.
And in the mountain terrain, the DC is increased by 5.
5? Okay, so he's not getting any bonus.
Yeah, it's the
22.
22. Okay, you're able. It is tougher to stay strong. The next day, this storm is just.
he just yells at the storm.
Okay, you're raging against the storm. There's this just grit beneath you. This day, it looks like you're going across a very narrow path that looks very susceptible to things like landslides or other sorts of natural dangers.
Okay, well,
Well, you've fallen off a mountain before.
yeah, he's not in particular afraid of that. There's got to be people. It's now 2 days of walking along a trail. There's got to be a village or a cabin or something. He hasn't seen any game.
No. Give me a perception check.
Right. Any wabbits? I mean, he'll eat bugs at this point in time. 11.
There. Give me a knowledge nature.
An int check.
Okay, give me an int check.
He grew up in a monastery, so 14.
There are some birds that you can see. They're at too high of a distance. Give me a. There's some large birds overhead. Now that you think about it, they might have been there for the last couple of days. They're kind of funny looking.
They're not afraid of the storm?
Apparently not. They're weird.
Are they landing?
They are landing. It looks like they are. Their flight patterns are strange, but you don't know much about birds. You spent most of your time in a monastery. They fly from one mountaintop to another mountaintop, and they seem to be kind of riding the wind as they go.
How high to the nearest mountaintop where the birds are going?
You basically, right now they're effectively above you. When they hop across to your mountaintop, you'd have to climb up maybe 200 feet, 300 feet to get to them.
With a climb of +9 and a rope and grappling hook.
Okay.
I think we're gonna hunt me some. We're gonna get some nuggets.
Get some chicken nuggies.
Weird birds. He takes out his rope and starts fucking hucking the grappling hook and starting to climb this mountain.
Okay. Give me a stealth and a climb.
Sure. The climb. I don't know what the bonus for the rope is. I think it just removes the penalty.
It removes the penalty. It changes the DC.
21 for the climb.
Okay, you motivated by hunger, you're able to scale this mountain with appropriate care.
Okay, for this travel, I think he's removed his masterwork breastplate. Like he's carrying it and not wearing it because
Okay.
ACP -2 is still
-2 is still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing. So the stealth is not so great currently, but I do roll a 21.
Okay.
Hunger.
I'm gonna roll a d6. You want the lowest number possible. Okay. All right. I'm going to unfog a little bit over here, just to represent you getting the drop on the birds. And yes, we're doing a combat encounter for the birds.
No.
All right, you climb your way up to a nook. You've got your weapons with you. Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, he didn't leave his pack with all of his stuff in it. Like it's on his backpack, but he has his weapons.
Okay.
He's unarmored though.
Can you roll?
I don't think he carries a. No, he doesn't own a backup suit of light armor.
All right, d3 plus 1. Okay. All right. You climb your way up to a like an overlook or a ledge. It ends up being into like a cave that has a roof that is actually shielded from some of the rain.
Food and shelter success.
As you're approaching the top, give me a perception check.
This is not 17.
Okay, you at the top of this cave, you can hear the faint crackling of a fire.
Okay, he slows down a little bit and he's gonna like peek.
Okay. There are these strange birdmen. And their state. These ones are currently sitting by a fire. There's one stretching out by the side, looking out across the mountain range.
Are they medium-sized or small?
I believe they are medium size. Let me double check. They are in my character sheet entry. This sheet says medium. So
cool. They're pretty big birdmen.
They're big. They're the big birdmen.
How hungry is Black Dog? Are they talking? Or are they like monkey intelligence?
They have bows and daggers and gear, and it looks like they are roasting a goat.
Has he ever heard of these things before?
Give me I kind of gave you a knowledge of nature previously. What do you have any other skill? Do you have any skills? Do you know anything?
He knows how to craft and survival is really the.
Give me an int check.
Sure. Nat 20.
Nat 20. So there are tales of these. You know the more of like these demon birdmen that haunt the passage. You know, kind of like an old wives' tale sort of thing. You know that these are tricky, sneaky beings that like they tax those who go through the mountains and kidnap people, and they're generally kind of bad. Is your general thoughts on them? You know that you can't trust their words, and they will lure people into traps by copying voices.
So the people of the Iron Kingdoms think these are monsters, basically.
People of the Shattered Refuge think they're monsters. They view them as like a lesser Oni sort of thing.
Okay, well then that's pretty much good enough for Black Dog. So we're entering combat.
Okay, you have a surprise round because you have a over 20, over 20 on your.
All right. These things weren't helping me. They were watching me for days. They're like waiting. Yeah, they're. Yeah, I think I've justified this. I think this is a good use for my new sword. From hiding position, can we drink our mutagen?
You can, but you'll be re-rolling your stealth to see if you've initiated combat.
We don't need it. We'll be good.
All right, give me 1 second to open up the combat sheet. Although it's two characters, I think I can handle this with my brain.
Yep.
So, all right, you get a surprise round. Let's roll initiative first. They have a +5, 24 on their initiative.
Oof. I don't think I could beat that. 8.
Okay, and I'm just gonna think you were here.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. You're currently still climbing, and you have the surprise. You can continue to take stealthy actions with like opposed rolls, if you want to, reposition or do what have you. And here I will draw the fire in, just because this particular combat map looks a little bare.
You want a fire token?
A fire token would be perfect.
Sure. 2 actions. I'm like, drawing a weapon is an action. Oh shit. That's what I'm struggling with right now.
Yeah, last time you climbed a rope and tried to surprise people, it only went so good.
There's a campfire.
Nice, thank you, sir.
No problem.
Yeah, there's a campfire in the cave position, so it wasn't glowing downwards in the way that you could see, but it is shielded from the rain.
I think Black Dog is going to move up to the one that's awake. What's he doing?
Okay, he is leaning against the wall as a lookout. He's the one who failed his job in making certain that you didn't do what you're currently doing.
Okay, Black Dog is free action, enters a rage.
Okay.
And is going to unarmed strike the Tengu warrior with a big half giant meaty fist. We're trying to knock him out. We are going to power attack. Be 8. -1. +2. AC 23.
Yeah, he needs he needs better armor. All right, you pop him one in his beak.
Okay, for 15 damage.
Okay, you knock him out cold.
Whack!
There's a crack sound as you think you cracked part of his beak or his jaw. There's a sound of surprise from the two in the back who are currently looking at a mountain goat that they've picked up off the side of the mountain and are watching cook.
Yep.
They were in the middle of some sort of conversation in a language you did not understand. They both stand up, making weird squawky noises. And they are going to then think they're going to draw short bows. And then they're going to use you as target practice.
Yeah. They get a single shot each, right?
They do get a single shot each, but they really, really, really wish that they were getting their sneak attacks off. Yeah, they've got kukris and their bows. So they're going to try to shoot you with their bows. You are close, and they are going to shoosting you. AC 25 and AC 23.
Without my armor on, it's AC 12. With raging is 10. Oh! He's just standing there.
You're going to want to reduce the number of foes attacking you next round. All right, so I will roll the 2 damages independently.
Yep.
7 on the first one.
We're going to use a reaction to absorb 3 of that with our con.
Okay.
No, I'm raging.
Yep.
5 of that with my con. So.
Okay, and then the second arrow does 4 damage.
2 damage, and the second arrow does 4 damage. You said.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's taking 6 damage. He's got arrows kind of stuck into him a little bit, but they're clearly not enough to stop a raging.
Get him! Get him!
Yep.
He was supposed to be watching. There's like this just chatter going back and forth. They're very upset with the situation. And in the mad scramble in this cave of warmth and dryness and the smell of food. Oh, there's food.
Yeah, his mouth is watering. his mouth is watering.
These walking chicken sandwiches spice the food for you. Okay, Black Dog, your turn.
Okay, he is going to. They've got bows out, right?
They do have bows.
Yeah.
They have bows, but their beaks are really big and pointy.
So we're gonna move action to draw. We might as well do it. The temple sword. Is there room to swing it in the cave?
Yes, they do have you have the space that you see here.
Right. He draws the temple sword.
There's a weird cocking of the head. One of them looks confused by what you draw.
He goes running in, and it's too bad. So let's move. Yeah, we're gonna attack.
Yeah, you need something with swifts in your build.
Oh, I do have. Give me a second. Destined Strike, you can grant yourself an insight bonus equal to half your Blood Rager level as a free action, so it's not even Swift. Yeah, I do need Swifts in my
You need a Swift in your build.
Let me just add up the bonuses here. Black Dog, Bab's Strength, Weapon Focus, Weapon, Power Attack, the Oversized Penalty, and then his Rage, and then he will use the free action once per day.
Okay.
So I'm at a plus 10, the one to the north. AC 28.
It's going to block with his armor.
Okay. I drew in the round. I just have to look at the Jitsu rules again.
Jitsu.
It's a flat-footed opponent immediately after drawing a weapon. Okay, so no. He's not.
Is immediately after drawing weapon. He isn't flat-footed.
Yeah.
You could have Jitsu focused the other guy if you had the ability.
Yeah.
You need quick draw.
I do. That sword needs to come out. So still, he's going to take a tremendous amount of damage.
Subtract. I think it's 5. Let me.
28 damage from the huge great sword.
Okay, you kill him in one swing.
Okay, I'll use my cleaving finish to attack the other one.
Okay.
AC 12.
Okay, you miss. There's a very surprised look on its face.
Where's the wall in this cave?
Sorry. Here, I will unfog the rest. I've been somewhat selfish in my defogging. That is in my head. That's the wall.
Okay, we'll take a menacing step as a swift action.
You understand exactly what's happening.
Yep.
All right. The Tengu warrior is basically had enough is 5 foot stepping back as a swift.
Yep.
Is basically zipping along the edge of the cave and then jumping off and flapping his wings. So he ends up there.
Okay.
He's flapping off. He's like, it's not quite flying. It's like falling with style.
Fine. Black Dog will swift action to 5 foot step. He will use a move action to switch up to a javelin.
Okay.
And then yeet a javelin at the guy.
Okay. In your current space in the storm that he is in, I'm going to roll a d3. On a 3, the storm is too aggressive. Like it's adding a penalty to the throw.
Yep.
No, the gusts of wind are not gusty enough at this particular angle. The javelin just flies true.
Okay, so we're in the second range increment and +1 from above, maybe?
He is gliding, so yes.
We might as well do the Destined Strike 3 times per day. It's a free, so there's a javelin, AC 21.
Okay, he takes a javelin.
And these are large javelins, so 1d8.
He takes a spear.
Raging.
He blocks with his armor.
I think it's not going to be... Black Dog doesn't have the brutal throw feat, so 15 damage though, max damage.
Okay. Give me 1 second. So I'm just going to check this is going to be down to the wire. All right. The armor that he is using to block with is... Oh no. Never mind. Leather armor is hardness 2. Thought it was slightly harder than that. I thought it was hardness 5. Okay. No, your javelin. He flaps for a second after you stuck the javelin in him. It looks like he's flapping and not. Oh, it did. He lived, and then his arc sort of adjusts and he just falls a long, spirally, twisty, sick thud at the bottom.
I've removed the javelin from my character sheet. I think he is going to immediately fall down to his knees and start eating the goat. At least get a few mouthfuls in.
Okay, yeah, it's like the outer layer is definitely cooked. They're actually cutting strips off and eating it. There's definitely meat here. Probably eat your fill. You're a big hearty boy, haven't eaten for a few days. You could basically spend the next hour basically eating.
Yeah,
as the goat comes ready.
Then he plucks the arrows from his chest, the 6 damage or whatever.
Yep.
And while he's still munching on greasy goat, he'll go over to the Tengu warrior to see if he's alive.
Did you hit him for lethal or non-lethal?
Hit him for lethal.
You hit him for lethal. All right. So you hit him into minus. Let's just see. Their comms are not fantastic. He died.
Okay. All right, Phoebe.
Makes that a little easier.
All right, he will then start looking around the cave, enjoy the warmth, dry out clothing. Like he'll camp here for a while. He doesn't think that.
It's give me a survival check.
Are there signs of any more of them camping here that may have been gone? Did he see more than 3 birds watching him?
You saw 2
Okay.
at any one point.
Okay.
So
20 for survival.
20. Yeah, there's definitely signs that this place has been used. You know that there's a couple of jumping off points, and then you see actually like there's like you've got good climbing gear in here. There's like a masterwork climbing kits, ropes, and then there's actually some like there's this map scrolled on the one back wall that indicates a couple of like you can see where they've scrolled out mountains and like little climbing routes. It looks like there's a whole like network of travel that's kind of sort of set up here. Indicated. Do you have any? I've said this a couple times. Do you have any skills? Do you have any professions or knowledges or?
Black Dog is a fighter that can craft weapons and armor. He has 2 ranks in survival.
Okay,
and many of the physical skills.
There's a lot of travel out to the edges here. You can see where things jump off with your survival check. You know that these heavy clawed feet that these tengu have are basically push off in a couple of different directions. So you suspect that they go at least 2 different ways from this location. You also found other scratch marks near the edges where they actually went up to a pair of ropes to climb even further up, or like routes that you'd climb further up the mountain to gain elevation if needed.
And their weapons were serviceable?
They actually had quite decent weapons on them. They have medium-sized short bows. And they had one of them took a nosedive off of the cliff.
Yes, it's 2 short bows.
2 short bows. You have 1 kukri and 1 and a bastard sword, medium sized. You're not quite certain. They don't look like they should be. They're not super strong, but it had a bastard sword. You'd suspect that it's kind of big for this type of being. Their frames seem to be more built for speed than they're built for strength.
Okay, he's going to collect a bag of tengu feathers.
Okay, you can collect if you're looking for like the wing feathers or like are there any
stuff for adornments for armor. I think they're going to go under the...
So the armor, they are wearing leather armor. The leather armor they're wearing are actually adorned with feathers. It helps. It basically looks like it helps them glide around. You also suspect that it would help you like look more like a bird from above. Additionally, they have you find 40 arrows. I don't know that you care about leather armor. As well, they've got some trinkets and tools.
He cares about it insofar as he'll try to learn how they affix the feathers to the armor.
Okay, give me a craft armor smith or weaponsmith roll.
Yeah. All this is done while munching. Like it just.
Oh, I'm assuming time is.
Yeah, but he's eating and drinking his fill.
Yeah, no, you figure out the sort of the basic concept and where they're connecting it. They're connecting at just above the articulated joints, and it's kind of it like artistically hides the articulation in the armor. Seems to make sense.
Okay, these things are considered effectively monster bandits, so he's going to remove the 2 tengu heads.
Okay.
Send the other 2 bodies just tumbling down the mountainside, like the headless bodies tumbling down the mountainside.
Give us a strength check just to see how good your yeet is.
10. Just half-ass yeet.
You're just pushing them off. All right.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna roll a. There's a 1 in 6 chance. Okay. When you go down, there's a tengu body that ends up on the road. The other one is
no. He's going to bring proof to whatever nearest village that he's hunted the monsters that live in the region. We're going to pack up whatever food they have. He's going to take their weapons and armor. He'll wrap the heads in, I guess, the leather armor.
They've got some. They do have some, like tools as well as a couple of like notes in script you don't understand.
Trinkets and notes. Okay. Tengu, tools, trinkets, and notes. Somebody in a market somewhere is going to want this stuff. The short bow, while not, it's probably pretty dinky in the strong half giant's hands. Might be interesting for actual hunting.
Actual hunting.
Yeah.
The rabbit. I throw the javelin to 18 damage. Well,
I then have rabbit puree.
you go hunting with a howitzer.
Right.
Okay. You spend a warm night. You recoup your vital essence. You spend. Give me a second. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong die size. You spend 2 days sort of in your cave before the storm ceases.
Yep.
That was a lot of rolls in the 40 to 50 percentile range. That storm is like, I'm here. Okay. The sky is clear on this day, and nothing new bothers you inside your overhead outlook. Although you're running a little bit low on logs for the fire.
Yeah, I think this is the time when the weather is cleared that we abandon our temporary shelter and then continue our march along the Forbidden Pass to find people.
Okay. Give me a over that time. You heal naturally. I don't know if you have any abilities to help yourself heal faster.
Nope.
Okay.
Just
basically
rugged manliness.
there was a full day of rest in there, so you recover your 6 damage.
Yeah.
You're left with a nice looking scar, and you're like under a pectoral.
I suspect that by high level Black Dog, if he survives that long, it's just gonna be one walking scar tissue.
That or he gets like true resurrected at some point and is like all fresh and baby smooth.
Something like that.
Okay, you make your way down.
Yeah, if the body's in the road, he's just gonna kick it off.
Give us one climb check to see if we have an UPA. Just to,
Can I take 10 or?
Sure, you can take 10.
Okay, so 19.
Okay, so there's no UPA. It's a little bit slow, but there's no UPA. Okay. You get to the bottom. You kick that body's supposed to fall further down. You kick it off the road. Okay.
Black Dog feels he's done good. Whether he has will be up to the gods.
All right. Black Dog making his way through the pass. Give me one more survival to sort of for your navigation.
14.
Okay. You end up somewhat lost as you get to this point where the path was washed away, likely by a landslide during this massive storm, and you kind of have to forge your own path. You end up kind of caught in sort of through some trees as you find a beautiful field. Here we go. Ooh, that, if I control B, that doesn't do what I want it to do. All right. No, sorry, I want this one first. All right, in a quiet mountain glen, off the edge of the forests, you find this secluded little like pond, with some very traditional looking homes. It looks pleasant and hospitable.
How much food does Black Dog have at this point?
Give me one more survival roll. This is just to see how well fed you are.
Okay. 25.
You aren't starving by any means. The bow is really much more effective for hunting than javelins because the range really helps. You could use good cooking. You not necessarily is not calories that are the problem.
Okay, he'll find whatever path leads up to this place. Like, is there a track or a path?
Yeah, you sort of work your way around and you do finally find a path. I'll just unfog an area.
Okay, he'll stop for a moment along the path just to see if he sees anyone.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll.
Black black dog stumbling out of the bushes right into your living room. It's like, what? No, he's being somewhat polite.
Okay, you see an old man tending to some nets on the edge of a dock.
Okay.
He just generally looks... The whole thing is just generally pleasant.
He doubts this place is the home of a warlord. So
It is a modest home.
is there a place to grab water to drink?
Yeah,
a
there's
trough or
there's a like a water wheel. There's a little stream coming down the side of the mountain, and there's like a water clock with like a ladle.
Okay, Black Dog will make a bit of noise putting his pack down. It's got all of his armor and shit in it, and he will then kneel down by the water and kind of drink with his hands.
Making a bit of noise, you actually get the attention of the old man, who kind of takes notice of you. He gives you a nod with his hand, like he's not generally making aggressive gestures, and is slowly making his way towards you. He's old enough that he's got move speed penalties. You are very big, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome to House Roishi.
Is the Lord at home?
There's no lord here, but this is my home.
Okay.
I am Sofu.
He gives a curt bow, not quite like bowing. Okay, so it's not like he's taking his eyes off of him or like bowing so low that he's not treating him like a monarch, but there was a bow of respect, I guess. Quasi respect, but like polite, I guess would be the way to put it.
You seem lost.
The road was treacherous, and he drops the two bound heads at the feet of Sofu.
Okay, his eyes go wide, and he nods. Give me a sense motive.
The third monster tumbled from the mountain. I could not recover its head.
3.
A washed out path led me down here.
Led you here. He's making some sort of praying gesture to the sky. Don't just stand there covered in your blood and filth. He whistles. A woman comes out and basically leads you to basically a guest house.
Yep.
It's an animal shed on drugs. It is meant for people.
Black Dog has slept in storms and evil Birdman caves. He's fine with some hospitality. He does scoop up the heads. Like if the old man's not interested in them, then he'll fetch a bounty.
He is not touching your heads. Okay, this woman that you eventually find out is Tojimu takes you to the guest house where she basically brings soap, water, brush. The water is warm.
Black Dog actually has soap on his character sheet, so yeah, he from the monastery he appreciates bathing, so he will, once she's not around, just bathe.
Yep. Soap. There's some petal scented water that's put on the side, as well as a strong tea that is left.
He makes mental note that the war of the Iron, the Warring Kingdoms probably hasn't touched this piece